Hello, welcome to another Thee Ace talk show. Topic today is player's fault. What I'm talking about is why things change in Runescape. If you heard the show before, just push play, open up another window, start your game, or while playing the game or browsing the internet, play the video and listen on in. Just different topics we cover. Add comments to what topics you want to hear about or talk about. Maybe later on I'll have a guest on here. We'll all talk about different content, either game or otherwise. So feel free to suggest a topic and I'll make a show about it. Alright, back to the regular topic here. This is show number 4. Again, player's fault. Now what we're talking about here, of course, is the old rants. Everybody rants about different changes in Runescape. Now, if you really look back at how things used to be back in 2005, 2006, before the botters, before, a lot of this other changes, the GE, the trade limits, Wildy, one of the biggest rants amongst a lot of people. The PK world, of course. Let's talk about how players are at fault and why they're at fault to make RuneScape the way it is now. Now, of course, let's go over the biggest rant. The biggest rant's about Wildy. Now, of course, that is linked to many different problems that players caused in the game. Players or entrepreneurs trying to make money off this game. Why not just enjoying the game? Wildy was changed due to the fact that there's real world trading. Real world trading, RWT is what a lot of people call it for short. They'll sit there and they'll buy GP online, and then they'll go out to Wildy carrying that GP. The person will kill them, and they used to get their drop. Whatever the person was carrying, they used to get what they were carrying. So people would spend money, real money, get that, real money for a game other than a membership. I mean, this game's not that hard to have to turn around and buy money. I mean, come on, give me a break. But players used to do it. So that ties into a lot of different things. The trade limit, stuff like that. The botters. The botters are the money makers. They're the ones that are a program that just runs and runs and runs. They sell their items, get the GP banked up, so they can sell to individuals out there. Now, if you want all that to change, well, it's up to the players. If players didn't buy it, there wouldn't be botters to get it. They wouldn't have had to remove Wild to prevent players from trying to get it. So, it's players' fault. If players didn't buy the GP to try to get it in-game, then there wouldn't be any of this bullcrap that there is. I respect the fact that the changes were made to try to keep the game the best it can be, and the only game that is against using real world money to buy things for the game other than membership. All other games you can buy whatever you want with real money. So basically, if it is your only hobby and you don't have nowhere else to spend your money, then you're the best player in the game, period. What's the point of that? But other games are like that and they support it. RuneScape does not. They want to be one of the only few games out there that do not allow real money to be used for advancement in the game. It is a complete unfair advantage from one player to the next. Yeah, there's plenty other unfair advantages out there, but that's for another time. So Wildy, stop ranting about Wildy. Wildy is the way it is, Bounty Hunter is the way it is, so on and so forth, because players out there are still buying gold pieces off of sites with real money and trying to figure out a way to transfer it. It still goes on. I mean, if you know a player that does it, I would down him like no tomorrow. I mean, I would report him myself. I would say, hey, this person's trying to cheat the game. He's trying to ruin it for the rest of us. I mean, come on. The game is not that hard. It's a mouse game, basically. It's a browser game. All you do is point and click. Yeah, there's more skill to it than that when you get to fighting and combating, but a lot of the skills is point and click. It's one of the easiest games you'll ever play, other than, the fighting aspect. Then it's just knowing how to fight, learning how to fight, get the gaming experience how to fight, getting the combat level to fight. So you wildy people out there, the PKers, want to keep ranting about it, well, help prevent people from real world trading. Don't buy gold pieces online. That'll put a stop to all the botters. That'll put a stop to all the BS that happens in the game that gets changed because players are trying to abuse it. They're trying to take advantage of using real money to buy things in game. I mean, the latest thing I heard was item trading. Now the bots are just collecting items and selling the items online for real money. Yeah, great idea for an entrepreneur, but guess what? You're ruining the game for the rest of us. Thanks a lot. So don't buy it. If you don't buy it, there will be no need for them. Again, it's players at fault. There's a lot of things players are at fault for. If they didn't have censors, players would be probably cussing up and down. Saying F this, F that. And, a lot of the chat that we don't want to hear or even see in our text box chat window. If it wasn't there, people would be doing it all the time. Yes, the game is for 13 plus, and if everybody remembers their teenage years, cussing seemed to be like a big cool thing to do, which it's not. I mean, I would think that you were intelligent enough out there to be able to come up with better words than cussing. Hence the censors. Players are at fault. So, if you don't do it, there's no need for it. No need for botters if you don't buy things off bots. No need for no need for the trade limit if there wasn't real world trading. Getting the unfair advantage. I mean, there's still people trying to do it and people still getting banned accounts and then raising a fit because they got their account banned and saying they didn't do it. But 9 times out of 10, they more than likely did do it. So, I mean, I really don't have any sympathy. If you're that close to the line or that close to the guidelines of being thought as someone that is going to cheat, or real next to the line or real close to the line of saying, yeah, this guy probably is cheating, then, more than likely you did one way or another. You've done stuff in the past or recently that would cause you to be banned anyway. So, start a new account, learn from your mistake, try it again. Don't try breaking the rules again. I mean, come on, you're making the game bad. If it wasn't for that, we'd still have Wildy, we wouldn't have trade limits, we'd be able to give things to our friends for free. I miss those days. I mean, I gave my wife D-Chain from a Dust Devil drop because I got one before that and she didn't have one. She still has it. But that was before trade limit. That was so nice, I've given people thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or GP, was called dollars, GP, whatever. You know what I mean. And, that made their whole game. They probably became some of the better players or even player moderators later on because I gave them help when no one else really would. Or I gave them a slight advantage just to be nice, which really wasn't an advantage, but was an advantage. I don't know. It's hearsay. But, yeah. Before you start ranting and raving about any changes in the game that you don't like, make sure you know who's doing it or why it was done. RuneScape usually has threads or has links somewhere telling you why. There is a big posting on real world trading and why they had to do what they did to the wild and bounty hunter and trade limits and stuff like that. GE, well, that was brought in because it needed to be brought in. A lot of players wanted to be able to sell their items while they were offline. And GE was a suggestion that was taken from a player or players that related it to something that was already in the game. If you go to Kelgrim area and you go into like the gnome, or I don't know what you want. Yeah, I think they're gnomes down there. You go down there in their main trading area there. That's where the idea was spawned off of, from a player posting it. You know, when they were doing the giant dwarf quest. And then later on, you know, Forgiveness of the Chaos Dwarf, how you use the cart from GE to go to the bank. You cross through that building instead of going to the bridge. You cross through the building, you'll see in the center of the building on the second floor, there's a great big trading area. And it's set up almost exactly like the way the GE is. That is where the idea comes from. It's not from any other game. So, you know, think what you might. GE was a great thing. It still is a good thing. You can sell your things online all the time. Well, not online, but on the game while you're not logged in. So it's great. Yes, there's price manipulating. If people don't stop with the merchant clans and scamming other players by making merchant clans and then only the top, say, 5-10 people or the friends of the merchant clan owner, you know, everybody else gets scammed out of their GP because they're not being told to sell when they should. So you're getting scammed out of your money because you can't sell the items, and you end up only being able to sell it after the price drops below what you bought it. So yeah, it's a big scam. Players at fault. If the GE gets changed, it's because of the merchant clanners. Again, players at fault. There's usually a reason for change on everything, and it's usually because the players are taking advantage of the game in a way it's not supposed to be. So, if you want to be one of them players to use a botter or an auto typer, or want to buy real world money, or use real world money to buy GP for the game, you know, thanks for screwing it for the rest of us. If you want to abuse the game and do the 76 trick out in wild, or a 26k trick, 76k, 26k trick out in wild, you're going to end up screwing the game for the rest of us. Thanks a lot. If you're going to go to GOP, Great Orb Project, or RC Guild, and you want to stack the teams and cause a massive flux and getting S's and stuff like that, and rune crafting ruins, you're eventually going to end up screwing the game from the rest of us. Thanks a lot. Castle Wars. I've already talked about that in another show. You know, the other shows I have. You know, talk about Castle Wars, people stacking teams. Come on. Show some player respect and bring in new players and help them learn the game a whole lot better there. But don't abuse the game. You play the game the way it was meant to be played. Don't try to stack teams. Don't buy real money or use real money to buy game money or items, which a lot of people seem to be doing also. I mean, hence, look at the EXP gain or the level gain in the last few, well, let's say this last year actually. A lot of people got caught, a lot of people have been banned. So, if we all don't do it, we all don't use real money to buy game money or game items, then the bots will disappear because they will have no means of support to pay for what they're doing. They'll just keep collecting items, and they'll stock the GE with items and the prices will go down. Great for us, great for our players, but then again, Jagex hopefully will notice that and remove those particular items and ban that bot, so it's only players helping players stock supply and demand, so on and so forth. So, you know, it is players' fault for a lot of changes. Before you start ranting about changes, look into it first. Alright, please leave a comment and on what you think, and maybe comments on topics later on. I might have guests later on. Till then, have fun and good luck.